Video number 2, sharing and exploring the northern half of Wahweap Bay. In this video, we're going to explore the two forking canyons that are between the Sand King Canyon and Ice Cream Canyon. I don't know the official name of these canyons, if it has one. If you have a name for it, please comment below and share the name that you know these canyons by. First, we're going to explore the canyon to the south, which is not nearly as deep. It's a little bit more wide, but can be pretty shallow in some points. And just a reminder, I did this video and the previous and following videos on July 24th, Pioneer Day. The lake was near its highest point, so the levels and the shoreline will be very different if you were to visit these canyons today or at a later date. And you will see in this video that there are bushes in the back, and you really can't go too far, but it could still provide some fun exploration and places to park a boat, have a picnic, or even your houseboat. One thing that's really great about an eFoil is you can elevate high to give yourself more visibility from a higher vantage point of about 2 to 2.5 feet higher. So I'm able to spot some of the submerged obstacles such as the rocks back there. And now we're going to go into the longer, more narrow canyon, which was really fun because as you go farther back, there are some large tree branches sticking out of the water. I think they may be cottonwoods because cottonwood trees are pretty common in canyons that have water running in them all the time. If you are someone who is debating on getting an eFoil or a more traditional motorized surfboard, whether it's gas-powered or electric, if you're someone who loves to explore canyons, this may be one of the reasons to get a e-surfboard instead of an eFoil, is that you don't have to worry about the draft as much. But for those who are debating a JetBoard or an eFoil, there are some brands that provide both, and even some brands that are coming out in the near future that have hybrid attachments so you can have both in one board. Even though a jet-powered e-surfboard does not have the draft that an eFoil has, which is similar to a typical boat when it's running on the surface at slower speeds, you should still be mindful of the depth of the water that you are riding in, because if you crash, you want to crash in the depth that you're willing to fall into or dive into. So 6 feet is still going to be a minimum safe depth. So there you could see and even hear the eFoil catch on some of the vegetation. And even just a small snag, a small bit of vegetation or debris that catches around the mast or the wing, you can feel how it affects the ride. But I continued on anyway because I wanted to get the shot, you know, as I'm leaving the canyon, and I didn't want to go back and repeat it because I knew there was a lot of vegetation back there. So I pressed on, I pursued on, even though I felt some major interference as I was riding on the eFoil. And then as I finally got to the exit of the canyon, I decided I had enough and I jumped off, and I'll show you the debris that was caught on the eFoil. So this is something you have to be mindful of if you are insistent on exploring deeper into canyons, as I did. Alright, so here's a few more surfing turns as we leave these snake tongue canyons. And in the next video, we will be exploring the famous Ice Cream Canyon, which I didn't realize has an additional name until this year as I've explored on Google Maps. But I guess it's also been given the name of Ice Cream Cone Canyon. So how do you know Ice Cream Canyon? Do you know it by Ice Cream Canyon or Ice Cream Cone Canyon? You can comment in this video, or you can wait until the third video releases. Like and subscribe, and live life to the fullest, even if you're on some other watercraft.